Today we had access to this beautiful Nissan Leaf 2019 model courtesy of Equator Mobility. Let's take care of the basics first. This car comes with a 110 kilowatts electric motor that gives up to 147 horsepower pushed to the front wheels. The motor is powered by a 40 kilowatt battery pack that gives a range of up to 280 kilometers on a single charge. How long does it take to charge the battery? Takes up to 8 hours on standard power outlet from 0 to 100% and up to 40 minutes on a fast charger from 0 to 80%. As per the tests done on this vehicle, you'd use power worth 1000 shillings to charge from 0 to 100, that is come on a charge from your standard outlet setup at home or office. Therefore, you get a whole 280 kilometers worth of commute on this single charge. This makes it a superb option for doing your city errands, going to work and back, and doing shopping, etc. Another way to charge the battery is through regenerative braking, which is achieved in two ways. First one is when you are slowing down, energy from the braking is converted to power and channeled towards charging the battery. Second way is using the e-pedal function, and this is how it works. When you take your foot off the accelerator, the vehicle brakes on its own, and in the process it generates power that is used to charge the battery. The e-pedal function also works similarly to i-stop in internal combustion engine cars, which ideally holds the vehicle for you when you are stuck in traffic or making short stops. This changes the vehicle into a single pedal EV, meaning in this mode you may not necessarily need to touch the brakes at any point. Let's look at the exterior styling of this car. The design right off the bat is appealing, by far much better than the previous Nissan Leaf cars we have seen around. Also, we see it imitating the Nissan's design language from across all Nissan's main models. The first thing you may notice is it takes a subtle, aggressive stance while at the same time remaining attractive from all angles. At the front end of things, you have the standard Nissan-shaped grille with the Nissan badging on it. Inside the exterior clear plastic are blue elements, probably to denote that this is a full electric vehicle. You also get full LED headlights and daylight running lights. At the end of the grille, you have a pair of fog lights. The side profile is marked by smooth flawless lines running from the front to the back. You get a separate black side skirts and chrome finishes on the door handles. A highlight of the side profile will be the zero emission badging here to remind you that you are driving an environment friendly car. The second highlight is the beautifully designed 17-inch alloy rims in dual tone color that adds to the beauty of the car. For a car this size, we agree that 147 horsepower is quite sufficient, and it would also need sufficient stopping power, so you get disc brakes all round. At the rear, things aren't so different from the front. The area carrying the number plate imitates the iconic Nissan's grille design. Then you get more badging of the model's name, zero emission phrase with the Nissan logo at the center. A highlight here is the lower rear bumper splitter that comes in blue, further highlighting the eviness of the car. It also makes the car look quite sexy. You also have a roof spoiler that extends all around the rear windshield. Quite a unique design from Nissan Leaf. Also, you have some nice lightings going on the door. I presume its function is to illuminate the way for you at night when getting in or out of the car. That's a rare gifting. The cabin, though plastic, is solidly built, giving you a high quality interior, and it doesn't give cheap vibes, especially for a 2019 model. You get a 5-inch infotainment system for your radio and other media needs. You also have your dual zone AC controls here with physical buttons. The gauge cluster is a hybrid one. On the right you get an analog speedometer, and on the left you get a 7-inch display that gives you a plethora of information about your car, such as the battery status, range, access to specific settings, etc. The graphics are decent, no lags, and it serves its function pretty well. In here you also get comfortable fabric seats with a mild touch of leather. Legroom and headroom is decent for normal height, grown-ups. Talking of driver assist features, this comes with the Nissan ProPilot Assist suite that brings to the table lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, semi-autonomous driving mode, emergency brake, 360 degrees reverse camera, etc. Let's talk about running costs of this vehicle and compare it to a car of similar power output or slightly less. I'd pick a Toyota Auris, in this case 1800cc petrol that gives around 135 horsepower. Fuel consumption averaging at 16 kilometers per liter. The current price of fuel is at around 194 Kenyan shillings. My quick calculations tell me that you will spend at least 12 shillings for every kilometer you drive in an Auris with 1800cc petrol engine. On the other hand, we have this Nissan Leaf, which will cost you around 1000 Kenyan shillings to fully charge a battery that will give you a total distance of 280 kilometers, driving economically. My quick math tells me that for the Nissan Leaf, you will spend at most 3.6 Kenyan shillings for every kilometer you drive. So that is 3.6 shillings per kilometer for the Nissan Leaf against 12 shillings per kilometer for an Auris. You be the judge. Talking of maintenance, the Nissan Leaf has less moving parts because it is a full EV. Maintenance costs will be way much lower than internal combustion engines. Perhaps the only major thing you need to do is battery reconditioning service, something that will happen maybe after covering 100,000 kilometers. Let's talk about the cost of buying one. From Equator Mobility, these are 2019 models of Nissan Leafs going for $25,000 US, freshly imported from Japan. That converts to close to 3.4 million shillings using the current exchange rate of 135 bob. What issues might you encounter with owning this car? It is not for doing long distance trips because for one, fast charging stations are not yet available countrywide. However, with time, we will see such infrastructure roll out into the entire country. Also, the price may not sit well for a mwananchi wa kawaida, but the thing is, most of the 2019 hatchbacks from Toyota, Mazda, etc. are ranging from between 3.5 million shillings to 4 million shillings. Perhaps with time, they'll get cheaper over the years for common mwananchi. Another thing is service centers for EVs are quite limited, but there's a solution for that is provided by Equator Mobility. Not only will they sell electric vehicles, they are also setting up a service center for them with plans to roll out mobile service solutions such that EV owners who are far from the city can be served by qualified mechanics from their homes or offices. We also had a small chat with Alex Mwanzo, who is a co-founder of Equator Mobility and a big mobilizer of EVs in Kenya and Africa at large. Unfortunately, there was rain pounding outside during the chat. We beg that you may bear with us.
We are at a point in our business whereby we're growing and our current customers love the products that we're providing them, and also that clients enjoy the product, and they're expanding their fleets, they're getting more clients, and they came back to us from the test period and said they'd like a little more fleet. So we are growing our fleet from 4 cars to 20, which is quite a lump sum, and that might also increase considerably in the next 3 months as well, so from 20 to something else. So yeah, same model. Again, we are looking into doing the whole ecosystem, from selling the vehicles, leasing the vehicles, to servicing the vehicles, electric vehicles, that is. Yes, we are. So we're leasing to both individuals and corporates. However, there is a background that we check. We don't just give to anyone, purely because EVs are slightly sensitive still. So I mean, things like if you live in a rough road and things like that, it's something that we consider. However, it's pretty open to most people, but we'd like to know where the vehicle will be used so that we can install a charging point and things like that. That just helps us and the client have a seamless experience with the electric vehicle.
What are the targets for both individuals and corporates?
I can't say that today. Yeah, but it's So to be honest, the charges are a bit expensive than leasing a normal car. However, the um, the, the running of the vehicle is cheaper. So if you do a monthly cost, it's actually cheaper to use an EV, regardless of the cost of leasing, because it's cheaper to basically charge the vehicle as opposed to fueling the vehicle. Yeah, so the charge, when we give out the number for leasing, it's normally confusing because it looks really high when it's actually not. So the clients actually end up saving anywhere between 15 to 30% of their normal monthly bill by using an electric vehicle. Number two, does KRA provide us the same treatment as ICE? Yes, we pay all the taxes. We don't have any preferential treatment, but the government of Kenya, KRA, and some stakeholders are working on getting quite a bit of leeway and incentives, because EVs are slightly expensive again, so that they can be at least market ready and also comparative in terms of pricing. Yeah. So at the moment, all the vehicles that we lease, we provide it with a charger. There's one outside actually. We've also partnered with a few individuals, people like EV Charger, so you can also charge at their hubs. But each vehicle that goes out, we provide a charger at their premise. We install it for free. So that really helps. Most of the people will always come back to point A, so you'll come from your house to work and then back to your house. So the car has sufficient range to do all that, even for a whole day. Also, if you go outside town, EV Charger has different points in Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, and some petrol stations such as Total and Shell are warming up into EVs. They've installed fast chargers as well. There is one in Limuru Road. There is one in Hurlingham. This is opposite Nairobi Hospital. Yeah, there are quite a few and more coming up. There's also another one in Galeri as well. Yeah. Running costs. When it comes to running costs, it's considerably like really cheap. We're talking of almost 80 to 90% savings per month in running. An example is charging one of these vehicles in your house will cost you about 1,000 shillings, and that will take you about 280 kilometers. Yes, that's to a full charge. So that's to 100%. For context, if you use a diesel or a petrol vehicle, a same point-to-point car, you need about 10 kilometers per liter. So for 280 kilometers divided by 10 kilometers per liter, you're roughly at 28 liters. At the moment, a liter is about 200, so that's 5,600 against 1,000. So it's yeah, it's really cheap. Yeah. Last one, the future of EVs. Africa is a consumer market, so a lot of us import second-hand cars from UK, Japan, and all these places. However, people have started to understand EVs, so to be honest, I don't see them flooding tomorrow or in the next 5 years. However, I see it to be gradual, like doubling every year. So if it's 50, next year it will be 100, 200, and then from there, depending on how the infrastructure that will be set up locally, it will start now to blow up, right? So once we've gotten to about 1,000 vehicles, more people will now be a bit warm towards EVs. A lot of people will stock spare parts, a lot of infrastructure developers will have set up charging stations, and then it will be really easy for people to buy even. And then at that point also the government will have provided incentives. Yeah, so it will be cheaper. So the plan is also to develop a toolkit for servicing these cars. So if someone is in Kakamega, because EVs don't need that much servicing, but it's easy to do someone to go out to Kakamega, service a vehicle and come out, unless it needs any special parts. However, for the major bit of it, someone can just go out, service the vehicles, give reports, and then from there we can be able to know the next steps. Yeah.